everyone, welcome to Milan to look at the Milan Cathedral. Centerpiece to the city, the Duomo di Milano. You get off at that station. We're in the exclusive shopping area. 6 centuries to complete. It began in 1386. The gates were inaugurated in 1965. The Gothic Cathedral, 5th largest in the world. There it is in the background, and as we look up, it's a gold statue on the spiral of Mary that overlooks the city. Complex adornment, and it's full of meaning. I'm going to present also some still pictures that I took to focus on some of the important meanings that you wouldn't find on a normal tour guide. It's Christmas time in the square, and the tree also with the church has a lot of meaning because it's through the festivals and the occasions to celebrate, originally pagan occasions, but they're family times, that the church incorporates these, and it has in it power over the souls of men. We've got the new and the old, technology and the old church. Galleria Victor Emmanuel II, one of the oldest shopping complexes in the world, and here represented in the pictures on the hexagonal are the women of the world, from America, from Asia. And of course, Victor Emmanuel II was the first king of Italy, a united Italy, and so the shopping centre is named after him. Expensive shopping centre, one of the most expensive in the world. Police presence. There's the army and police everywhere because of the threat of terror. But it makes it a much safer, makes it feel much safer, the environment. Stained glass windows, we'll get to look a little bit closer at these, depicting the stories in the Bible. Beautifully done. And we're right here next to the markets, the Christmas markets, which really make for a nice atmosphere, things to eat and different things to buy. It's about a week till the end of the holiday season for the Italians. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen in Milan so far. It's just a rich history, a wonderful place to visit. Here's an old image of what the square used to look like, probably from the 1800s. And it was at the time of the Christmas markets, as you could see. And I wondered how that would work out, because just prior to this there'd been some quite heavy flooding in the area. And this often happens around this time of year. So I was fortunate, there was no rain in Milan, it was good weather all the way, so I was really blessed. And here's some images that you've seen already, just nice still shots. And you can pick these up also. I've put a lot of images onto the website so you can have a look at those. The Christmas tree is significant, particularly when it's with the church, because it was through festivals, its own times and laws, that were human origin, that it has its hold, its persuasion on men. Christ Mass, Chris Mass. But it was of a pagan origin. Here's an old image of the cathedral again. And here we have, in this stained glass window, stories from the beginning in Scripture. You have Noah's Ark on one side. In the middle, on the bottom three in the middle, you have the two brothers, Cain and Abel. Cain brought to God a sacrifice which God did not specify, and it was not accepted, but Abel's was. So Cain rose up in anger against his brother and killed him. This represents the early history of Milan and Rome and the turmoil that occurred. It resulted in the church in the wilderness. That was to flee into the wilderness. It says this in Revelation 12 for the 1260-year period. It represents here the story of humanity. In God's name, Christ warned that people would kill others, thinking they were doing the very service of Christ, but they were of another kind, of Satan. So we have the church, when it becomes political, when it got that power to deal with heretics, so it was involved in this slaughter, just as it was in the story depicted in Scripture here. This beautiful nativity scene in the church, I thought I'd just share that with you. And here we are, the grand cathedral itself, full of imagery and full of signs and symbols that one should be able to easily read or get an idea that they're of a certain origin, not Christian origin, if they were to think carefully about it. We have this statue of Thomas the disciple of Christ, in which he's wearing his skin as a robe. When first looking at this image, you might think it's concerning anatomy, but it's to do with Thomas, who was skinned alive, so we're told by accounts of history. Here we are looking at the Grand Cathedral, but the marble floor particularly. The floor is of a certain marble, coloured marble, that is particular to this area, and it's very unique and it's spectacular. You have a light coming through the roof. You have to look carefully in the picture to see it. That light shines down to the marble floor, and there's a piece of brass running right across from one side to the other. And down there we have the zodiac sign, the zodiac symbols representing the months of the year. So we had Babylon in days of old. You had the Babylonian priests with their mitres hat. They were involved in what? Divination of the sun, moon and stars. And so you have that here. This is where it comes from. That's where it originated from. And it's the church that has its hold on its own times and festivals, Christmas, Easter, Sunday worship, its own festivals, times, that which God did not implement or put in place, being put into its worship ceremonies. Another image there from the zodiac. It runs all the way along. And here, even the pillars have meaning. 52 pillars representing the weeks of the year.